What's good, everybody? I'm BPC and welcome to Competitive Origins MMA. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be notified as soon as this video goes live, and don't forget to ground and pound the like button. Now, today's topic is on Conor McGregor moving up the lightweight rankings. Now, that's pretty odd considering he's been inactive for the past 26 months. And I'll talk more about that in just a moment. But first, I want to point out that I'm wearing a Competitive Origins Get It Done t-shirt. And you can get it done at competitiveorigins.com. Now, if you type in promo code MMA29, you'll get 10% off your order. Now, a portion of the proceeds will go towards the channel so we can provide a better experience for you guys at home. You've been competing since conception, whether you're competing against yourself or others. Competitive Origins. So, Conor McGregor made his lightweight debut in 2016 against Eddie Alvarez. Now, this was the first time he was fighting at 155, so how did he get the opportunity to fight for the title? Well, probably due to his popularity, due to the record-breaking numbers that he was bringing in, and the fact that he was the current 145 champion. So the UFC was trying to set up basically a marketing opportunity where they could say Conor McGregor, goes after to become the first UFC fighter to be the first champ. Now, BJ Penn was the first champ if you think about somebody winning one title in one weight class and then winning another title in another weight class. But Conor McGregor was the first to do it simultaneously. And he got the victory and basically just held on to the belt for an extremely long period of time without defending it. Now, he then went on to go fight Floyd Mayweather, and he basically lost in that fight, but he did do good in the early rounds. But, it ended up being, the referee had to stop it. It was a TKO. Conor basically gassed out. Now, Conor came back to the UFC 23 months having, last fought in the organization to basically go up against Khabib Nurmagomedov, who was the current 155 champion. And Conor basically wanted to lay claim that, he was basically keeping my title warm for me while I stepped away to go make all this money. See, Conor made almost $85 million in that fight with Floyd Mayweather. Some say over 100, but basically he made a lot of money. So that was an opportunity to basically put the, the wheels in motion, so he could start investing money in other, fields while coming back to his true love, which is MMA. Well, he fought Khabib and he ended up losing the fourth round via a neck crank, basically a submission. And then all hell broke loose and everything went crazy and Conor got into a fight, all these different things happened. Conor went off, fighting old people in bars and, just all this different things going on and basically, different claims and, all these things coming about. Well, Conor made his return, 15 months later to go face Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Now, Donald Cowboy Cerrone is a known 155er who has also jumped around and bounced into 170 because he doesn't like cutting weight either. Well, Conor said, hey, I'm down to fight Cowboy Cerrone at 170. Now, the only other times that Conor had fought at 170 was on a late-minute notice fight against Nate Diaz, where they fought at 170 because Nate couldn't make the weight down to 155 in such a short time. And Conor lost that fight via second-round submission. Now, the second fight, Conor did get a 5-round decision victory over Nate Diaz, and we thought that was basically the last of the 170 fights, but Conor, obviously does not want to cut weight, so he basically made a plan where he said he was going to fight 3 times in 2020. So this was his first fight. I guess he didn't want to drain himself too much, and he fought at 170, and he got a 40-second TKO victory over Donald Cowboy Cerrone, which was electrifying. It got everybody excited. The crowd just erupted if you were able to see that fight. Now, moving from there, Conor didn't fight again, and, Conor stated that he wanted to fight. Some believe it was the UFC that was holding him back from fighting because they knew they would lose out on the gate, people buying tickets to come in attendance. They still would have made money on the pay-per-views, but I guess they wanted that gate money, or they didn't want Conor to take a loss when they're losing out on the gate and then possibly help, basically hurt his repertoire, and maybe not make him the popular fighter that he would be if he were to start taking losses. So they basically wanted to maximize their investment. Every time they have him fight, basically make as much money off him as possible. So here we have it. Conor has not fought in 26 months in the 155 division. So, you're thinking like, okay, well, maybe he should be removed from the rankings, you know, because after all, Leon Rocky Edwards was recently removed from the rankings, you know, after being inactive for 15 months. Now, surprisingly, they put him back in the rankings because he agreed to take a fight over a fighter that basically the UFC wanted him to fight, you know, and, you know, basically, so what's Conor's situation? Conor, you know, 26 months versus 15 months, you know, but he's still in the rankings. It doesn't quite make sense. Well, somebody that's been fighting a lot, Tony Ferguson, who pulled off 12 straight victories, as I said in previous videos, and he basically loses twice, you know, but it wasn't like he lost to low-ranked fighters. These guys were really good, you know, and they were pretty high-ranked, you know. He lost one fight, you know, which broke his streak of 12 wins, and then against Justin Gaethje, and then he went against Charles Oliveira and took his second loss. Now, Oliveira was ranked number 7, so, you know, it wasn't like he was an easy walkthrough. Now, you know, the updated rankings basically showed Oliveira going from number 7 to number 3. So you're thinking, okay, whatever, he jumped ahead of Tony, that makes perfect sense. But then as you continue looking at the rankings, you notice that Tony is now ranked number 5. And you're going like, okay, well, Conor's ranked number 5. How could Tony be at number 5? Well, that's because they moved Conor to number 4. And you're going, well, 26 months of inactivity gets you to move up the rankings. You know, Conor hasn't gotten a victory in the 155 division in over 4 years, and he's still a top 4 fighter, which doesn't make sense. I get it if you believe that Conor is the best in the division, or at least second best in the division, but to rank him as such doesn't quite make sense if he hasn't put up the necessary resume to basically lay claim to that ranking. You know, now I was kind of wondering, how are they deciding this? You know, when you look into it, the voting panel is based on media members. So they have the media members voting who they think should be ranked where, and, you know, almost how everybody complains about the judging for the UFC fights. You know, they say we have boxing judges that are judging MMA fighters, and they don't know how to score it, and they don't know how to do this. Maybe the media members that they are selecting don't really know who should be ranked where, or they have no business, you know, making this judgment or claim. Maybe we should just leave them to go make rankings on their websites, but let's get some professionals in here to make, you know, some quality, you know, decisions on who should be ranked, because these rankings can determine whether a fighter, if, you know, say it's a last minute fight, you know, and they need to pull somebody from another fight to move him in to a higher ranked, you know, competitor, the Athletic State Commission might say like, hey, we're not going to allow this guy. He's too, you know, low ranked to be fighting somebody such high rank. And this could ruin that person's opportunity to get into a title fight or to move up the rankings a lot quicker. So these rankings do matter for a lot of the fighters. Now, at the end of the day, the rankings matter only when they choose for them to matter. You know, Conor was not ranked at 155 and he still got himself a title fight. So like I said, the UFC will pick and choose who they want to throw into the fights, but there are certain situations where the rankings do, you know, hold a little bit of weight, and where it can be very helpful for a fighter to get a shot if he were to be ranked a little bit higher. And then you got to think about it, not all these fighters are going to win titles. Very few fighters will ever win titles in the UFC. So to be able to tell your family, hey, I was a top 5 ranked fighter, might be their crowning achievement. And you're basically robbing them out of that for somebody that just doesn't want to fight. You know, it's like you can't just give him the number 4 ranking, you know, if he doesn't want to go ahead and fight. You know, and like, yes, you know, maybe he did want to fight, but he fought Cowboy at 170. He could have asked for a 155 fight, or said, you know what, Cowboy, if you don't want to do 155, I'll fight somebody else. You know, but that was his choice to fight at 170. That's just like saying me, I haven't fought right now, you know, so therefore, you know, I should be given the title. Just give me the title. Just hand it over to me. You know what I mean? Because I didn't fight, you know, like we're giving rankings. Let's give away belts. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, in the past 26 months, Conor has fought as much in the 155 division as I have. And I'm not even signed to the UFC yet. So just think about that for a moment, okay? I want you to go into the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about Conor moving above Tony Ferguson without having to basically do anything at all. Do you feel Conor should be ranked number 4? Do you feel Ferguson should be ranked number 5? You know, and Oliveira moving up to number 3. How do you feel about that? Go into the comment section below, like I said, and let me know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. I'm BPC, and make sure to get it done at competitiveorigins.com. Type in promo code MMA29. Thank you guys, and have a great day.